Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka has come out in defense of the embattled Controller of Budget Margaret Nyakango and the Auditor General Nancy Kathungu amid their explosive revelation on the government's shortcomings. The senator was speaking on Citizen TV JKL live show on Wednesday, where he heaped praises of the two women for rising above government criticism in defense of the Constitution in their respective professions. The senator spoke after William Ruto's senior economic advisor Moses Kuria, who was also on the platform, popped holes on the recent reports by the Auditor General, which painted key government projects such as Social Health Authority (SHA) and the Asala Fund in part test in the public's eye. From his own opinion of the pair, Onyonka outrightly asserted that the two have consistently put the country's interest ahead, adding that he regards them as his personal heroines. His sentiments did not sit well with Kuria, who, despite acknowledging Kathungu's good academic and professional standing, pulled a tribal card against Onyonka, accusing the senator of defending Nyakango because she hails from the Abakusi community. Here is the tape of the two in the JKL live show.
General cannot pronounce herself without conviction that the facts and the numbers she's stating are true. Why? Because all the evidence in the first managerial meeting, she calls the stakeholders to produce the evidence to support what they're doing. Number two, the Auditor General has actually said, and Jeff, I hope you'll allow me to quote her, okay, in her report.
Go ahead.
She says, 1 second, sir. She says, number one, Nancy Githungu's audit report on the National Government Ministries 2023-24 highlights the glaring inconsistencies in the procurement of the healthcare information technology digitization system, the system used to run SHA at the Ministry of Health at a cost of 104 billion. Then she says, the Auditor General revealing these glaring discrepancies in the tender, paperwork, contract agreements, and financial proposals. Then she goes on to say, the auditor lifting the lead on how procurement laws were violated with no inclusion of procurement plan nor a medium-term budgetary expenditure framework before procuring the system. Then she says, the report details how the management breached the law by using uncompetitive procurement procedure known as specially permitted procurement procedure in single sourcing a service provider for the digital system, violating Article 227 of the Constitution, which requires fairness, accountability, and transparency. Finally, Dr. Githungu discloses the contract entered did not provide the scope of work, which means even the figure being mentioned right now could be extrapolated by the provider of the service. Then it says the number of health facilities where the technology system will be installed was never disclosed. Why? Because if you don't give me the facilities that you want to disclose, if I have this system, I can then go and create my own health facilities, which physically don't exist, and I put them into the system. Number two,
let Moses reply.
Thank you very much. The cost of training people who are going to manage this system is 7 billion shillings. That's what Nancy says here. There are no explanation to show the number of healthcare workers to be trained on the system and mode of training to arrive at that cost. Lastly, the amount of money that SHA found in the account of NHF was 102 billion shillings. Nobody talks about that money. Nobody says where it went. Nobody even says where that money is kept right now. It's not in the consolidated fund. That's what Nancy's saying. Finally, the other issue that you have here is very simple. Very amazing, Jeff. You have somebody, she's a doctor, and she's just told me this. It's shocking. She says, excluding hospitals' debt, if you discuss the 32 billion which was accrued by NHIF, this was money that the government was owing NHIF. Why? Because these were government workers that were being treated.
Moses.
And then finally,
hold on.
The health data shipment. Finally,
Moses needs to reply.
I'm giving you the last one. I want him to reply all of them. Finally, by us allowing shipment or access by a foreign entity is tantamount to exposing our sovereignty and an issue of national security. Imagine someone who knows your diseases, your vulnerabilities, and what they can do with that information, in fact, in case they want to create a biological weapon on you.
Yeah.
We are not against any PPP. What we are saying, we learn from international best practice. We bring it locally here. Honorable Moses, we want accountability, transparency, fairness, equity, which are the principles in my constitution. Then we are saying, my job is not to stop the government, not to get a PPP program. Invite people. Why did you pick one company? You want to do single sourcing, and yet you could have got 16 other companies who would have done it at a quarter the price. Therefore, we didn't get value for money. And when we raise these issues, then it is shifted on to, no. You see, then you have to talk about, in fact, these ladies, including the controller budget, many people say, oh, we need to fire her. These two women, for me, these are my heroes. These are the two last line of defense in this country. If you look at the issues they are raising, not any of us as men can deal with them.